Welcome to the PBM Insider. I am Jim Lodge, an actual PBM Insider. In today's edition, we will be discussing a recent development in the PBM industry that I believe may have the biggest impact on it since the inception of the industry in 1968. On May 12, 2025, President Donald Trump signed Executive Order 151, which calls for drug manufacturers to give the United States so-called most favored nation status by ensuring the prescription drugs sold in the U.S. are at the lowest cost of anywhere in the world. Today, the U.S. consumes 7.7% of drugs, while paying over 40% of the global spend on them. The implications of this executive order are far and wide across the prescription drug to consumer ecosystem, and we'll touch on a few key ones here. I believe the biggest winners will be plan sponsors and their members, exactly who these programs are designed to help. The actual base cost of a drug, be it a pill, injectable, cream, or whatever, is typically the largest component of the total prescription cost. There are other associated costs, including things like those to the pharmacy's patient counseling, along with physically dispensing the drug, as well as administration of the claim by a PBM. But base cost is number one. Today, among developed nations, Australia can typically provide a drug at 20% of the cost of the lowest negotiated rates available in the U.S. Australia is commonly considered to have the lowest prices available for many prescription drugs anywhere in the world. On average, prescription drugs are the second largest component of health plan spend behind hospitalizations, accounting for about 25% of the spend on average. As a side note, it also is the most rapidly increasing cost within pretty much any health plan that you might look at. If the U.S. is suddenly going to be offered drugs at 1/5 of what they are currently available in this country, plan sponsors and their members are going to see a huge drop in their drug spend. Correspondingly, however, they will see a huge drop in rebates, as they are typically calculated as a percentage of the cost of the drug. It also benefits plan sponsors from a fiduciary standpoint because we would then have a definitive benchmark against which to measure plan spend. The fiduciary burden then becomes significantly lowered, and proof of meeting that obligation simplified dramatically. All that said, not everyone is a winner. There are certainly some losers if this plays out the way that it's intended. If the U.S. has the lowest drugs prices in the world, drug importation as a benefit strategy effectively goes away. And those vendors that are affiliated with drug importation are no longer relevant to the U.S. market. Likewise, because the drug manufacturers will be much less incented to push market share in the United States for their drugs, things like patient assistance programs, which have already been dramatically reduced over the last several years, could go away altogether. This would harm low-income, high-cost drug-consuming individuals in this country that rely on those programs for free or deeply discounted access to those medications. We'll have to see how it plays out. And the PBM Insider will certainly be monitoring developments. But I don't think there is any question that this is a monumental event in driving toward cost efficiency, access, and transparency across the PBM industry. This is the PBM Insider, keeping you informed.